Hello and welcome to Spectrum News at 4. I am Rachel David Wides coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State. Let's take a look at the headlines. Students of International Institute of Journalism, Uyo, commands tough media group plus. DTH Channel must strengthen training for actual combat. Details coming up shortly. Our first report this afternoon is the Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo, who has presided over the Federal Executive Council FEC boss Mustafa and the President's Chief of Staff, Ibrahim Gambari. Also present are ministers of state and some presidential aides. To promote free movement of goods within the country. The Minister of Transport, Muazu Sambo, met this noon at the 10th National Delegates Conference of the Road Transport Employers Association in Nigeria in Abuja. According to him, the multiple taxation on roads was and it's tied to the economic recovery and growth plan of the present administration. Meanwhile, the federal government has warned the Affairs Department, ITF. Suleyo Chagu discloses in a statement. According to the statement, Chagu dismissed claims of the ongoing recruitment in ITF. She said the viral advertisement. In a separate development, the National Assembly has passed the Investment and Securities Bill, which includes provisions for possible jail sentence for those who promote assembly, when the Senate passed it on March 29th. The bill had also been passed by the House of Representatives in December, but was only awaiting presidential adequately regulate the markets, reduce systemic risk, as well as provide for more stringent punishment for operators of Ponzi schemes. Lawan added that the passed bill prohibits Ponzi and pyramid schemes as well as other illegal investment schemes, and prescribes a jail term of not less. Has said that over 3,000 bimodal voter authentication systems (BVAS) would be deployed for the supplementary elections scheduled for Saturday, April 15th. INEC noting that it would also conduct supplementary elections in 2,660 held in 20 local governments of each of Adamawa and Kebbi states, while state houses of assembly elections will be held in 57 constituencies across 17 states. Meanwhile, Saturday, 15th April 2023, the Rivers State Resident Electoral Commissioner Johnson Sinikem, who disclosed in a statement, called on all political parties and residents of the areas affected to take note of the date for the scheduled elections. INEC therefore called for their vote in a peaceful manner. In accordance with the laid down guidelines, the Commission further assured the people of its commitment to ensuring a successful supplementary elections. In politics, the elective state delegates Congress of the People's Democratic Party for the Bayelsa State Governorship election scheduled for November 11th exercise. The event is taking place at the Gabriel Okara Cultural Center, Yenagoa, the state capital. The ad hoc delegates were drawn from the 8 local government areas of. In another development, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, says it has received 152 returnees from Libya and Malam Aminu Kano International Airport, Kano, respectively. The Lagos NEMA Ibrahim Farinloye, in a statement, said the 152 Libya Abdullahi, represented by Suleiman Saeed Abubakar, head of Human Resources, NEMA Kano, said the returnees arrived at the airport at about 2:15 p.m., noting that the returnees comprised 34 males, 18 females, and 52 children. According to him, the government will train the returnees on the skill acquisition society while urging the returnees to be law-abiding. Abdullahi advised Nigerians to shun illegal migration and avoid endangering their lives by traveling to seek greener pastures elsewhere. Reports say the agency has so far also. On census, the National Population Commission (NPC) has postponed indefinitely the training for enumerators and reassured that the postponement would not affect the conduct of the population and housing census scheduled to hold from May 3rd rather, quality data managers and others. According to the Census Committee Chairman, a new date for the training of enumerators and supervisors would be communicated soon. Agencies saddled with the enforcement of the state open grazing for a period of 2 weeks to allow all headsmen with livestock in the state to leave. Autumn discloses, according to him, the suspension was to show a good faith to all those who claim to have come into the state without knowing there is open grazing prohibited from the receipt of President Buhari's directive to fish out perpetrators of the mass killings across the state, urging them to act fast on the matter in order to bring justice to the victims of the attack. Television CCTV cameras in major cities to reduce the crime rate in the state. Police spokesperson in Akwa Ibom, a digitalization of all apparatus in the state in order to combat crime. He called on Governor-elect Moino. Still in Akwa Ibom, students use FM for its professionalism in the media business, as well as its productive workforce and state-of-the-art facilities. The met recommendation have obtained a broader knowledge on news production, broadcasting, and journalism at large.
It's a very nice experience. Spectrum TV studio there, where they produce the news.
To come here to see different stratum of the electronic.
Because when I'll go further, I think I should specialize in broadcasting. So I have a lot of experience from what I've been shown.
Meanwhile, a letter called on the state government to encourage the media station by providing access road to the station for ease of movement.
Again, I want to appeal to this because we kind of, maybe I should say so far, we were exposed to a lot of things as we were coming. Encourage them and then ask them to do more.
In Africa, Tunisian police used tear gas to disperse out peace for some 25 days. The group in an open letter said they had taken refuge near the building after being chased out of several. In Tunisia announced on its Facebook page that it had stopped all registration and pre-registration activities from 31st March to 17th April. Tunisia's main opposition coalition has announced plan to hold direct engagement with the public as it prepares for talks with the government on electoral reforms. Azimo Lao anti-government protest turned violent last month. It said it would hold its action. On foreign scene, U.S. President Joe Biden discussing the signing of the landmark Good Friday Agreement 25 years ago this week. In his speech, Biden tells the audience that across Northern Ireland to make it work. The U.S. president now moves on to talk about how peace in Northern Ireland shifted the political gravity in the world, saying that in 1998, believed peace was possible and will bring Americans together. He said that preserving the Good Friday Agreement and peace in Northern Ireland is a priority for Democrats. Still on the foreign scene, China's President Xi Jinping has called on the country's armed forces to strengthen military after the show of force by Beijing, which sees self-ruled Taiwan as its territory. Recall that China has concluded 3 days of military drills and a group of lawmakers. Beijing is also enraged by a plan for U.S. force to use a growing number of bases in the Philippines, including one near Taiwan. Stay with us. Thank you very much for staying with our troll. Has risen by 81% in the past 3.76 naira, indicating World Economic Outlook update. In its World Economic Outlook, the IMF improved the country's 2024 economic growth projection to 3.0% from the 2.9% it stated of the advanced economies. It stated that on average growth is expected to be 3.9% in 2023 and to rise to 4.2% in 2024. The IMF noted that the other major forces that shaped the world economy in 2022 are likely to influence in 2023, with debt levels remaining high and limiting the ability of fiscal policymakers to respond to new challenges. In health, the Medical and Dental Council has said medical and dental certificates issued by medical schools in Ukraine from 2022 on social media platforms. Recall that the Council had in 2022 warned that it would not recognize certificates issued by Ukrainian medical schools until normal academic activities resume. The Council also reiterated that online medical degrees were equally not recognized. The Council further advised students who are studying medicine or dentistry in Ukrainian medical schools to seek transfer to other accredited medical or dental schools in other countries for the completion of their programs. And still in health, a consultant neurologist at the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, Dr. Agabi Osigwe, has called for more awareness and training on symptoms of pain disorder that causes unintended or uncontrollable movement, such as shaking, stiffness, and difficulty with balance and coordination. He noted that people with Parkinson's experience stigma in places where there are ignorance, myths and misconceptions about the disease and its cause. The consultant neurologist said access to medications has also been a challenge, adding that the drugs are relatively expensive and unaffordable for the majority of patients with the condition. In sports, Marcus Rashford will miss Manchester United's Europa League quarter-final first leg clash with Sevilla after suffering a muscle injury that is likely to keep him out for a few games. Recall that the 25-year-old, who has scored 28 goals for Erik ten Hag's side this season, limped out of the 2-0 Premier League win over Everton on Sunday. The forward was withdrawn in the 80th minute of Saturday's 2-0 Premier League win over Everton at Old Trafford and immediately headed third offer by the end of April. Sheikh Jassim and British billionaire Jim Ratcliffe both submitted a second bid for the Premier League club last month. Meanwhile, several offers are understood to have been received in recent weeks, but Sheikh Jassim and Ratcliffe remain the front runners to buy United should the Glazers give up control of the club they bought in 2005 for £790 million. Recall that United's unpopular owners announced in November that they were conducting a new strategic review, with the sale of the club one option being considered. Featuring South African star Musa Keys, the video sees the announcement of Davido's return after a prolonged moment away from the limelight. In the visuals directed by Dami Twitch, Davido joined dancers dressed in a colorful South African traditional attire while delivering steps off the trending unavailable music. Recall that since the album's release, Davido has dominated streaming platforms and broken multiple first-week records. Meanwhile, the veteran Nigerian music producer and music executive Michael Ajare, popularly known as Don Jazzy, has debunked claims that he buys fake streams to boost his signees songs on digital streaming platforms using Streaming Farm. Recall that Don Jazzy and other record label owners were recently called out on social media by some fans for using streaming farms to manipulate stream numbers in favor of their artists. In an interview, the Maven boss declared that there was no such thing as streaming farm. He urged up-and-coming artists not to be deceived by the speculations of an existing streaming farm that can boost stream numbers, admonishing them to work harder in achieving their goals. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtv.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News at 4. I am Rachel David White. Good afternoon.